And as for his boss, we all know that President Biden is all about unity. I mean, he said it how many times a week ago?
Unity. Unity. Uniting our people. Uniting our nation. Uniting to fight the foes we face with unity. Speaking of unity, the way of unity and unity.
So how's that unity going? Well, here's a member of his own backbench talking about the 73 million people who voted not for Team Blue to take over the presidency.
There are legitimate white supremacist sympathizers that sit at the heart and at the core of the Republican caucus in the House of Representatives.
So much unity. Now, as you know, I'm not a money man, and the vagaries of the stock market are often fascinating. But today there was something I really needed to explain to you, which was a wild day on Wall Street. About 600 points came off the market because, well, I'll let this business reporter explain, but essentially a collection of rebels worked out a way to screw with the system, which was to find a stock and pump it through the roof. In this case, it was a bricks and mortar operation that sells video games.
It is a rebellion of sorts. You've got the little retail investors versus those hedge funds that you mentioned who bet on stocks falling, and you have GameStop that is caught right in the middle. GameStop's share price has been declining since 2015. Hedge funds saw this trend and said, hey, let's bet that the stock will fall even further. So they short sold GameStop. Then you had a bunch of retail investors that joined forces on an online forum on Reddit and noticed what the hedge fund guys are doing and said, hey, let's buy GameStop shares, pushing the price up. And that means all of those hedge fund guys that bet it would fall lost billions of dollars.
Now, before you say, how good's that? Those slimy characters on Wall Street, they got what was coming. Remember, the money that in part they play with is the retirement funds of workers in the United States. Now, so who are these people who were involved in all of it? Well, think of it like the Occupy Wall Street protesters who worked out how to use a trading app.
You know, coming out of 2008, what happened was Wall Street took an enormous amount of risk, and they left retail as the bag holder. And a lot of these kids were in grade school and high school when that happened. They lost their homes, their parents lost their jobs, and they've always wondered, like, why did those folks get bailed out for taking enormous amounts of risk, and nobody helped and showed up to help my family?
Now, as always, a lot of people made a lot of money today, but a lot of people lost even more money today. And the reason the entire market fell by about 600 points in part was because there are lots and lots of stocks that are grossly overvalued, because that's what the hedge funds have decided to do. So a rocky ride will continue for a long time to come, and as the United States economy goes, as does the world. China, they just want you to bend over, don't they? You know, for coronavirus testing, of course.